Good morning students. Today we will discuss last two agricultural practices that we perform in agriculture of chapter 8 crop production and management. Now second last agricultural practices are harvesting, threshing, winnowing. Okay. Now what are these? First of all we will discuss about harvesting. See, when the crops are fully grown or matured, then they need to be cut and collected. So harvesting is the process in which fully matured or grown crops are cut and gathered or collected. So this process is called harvesting. This can be done by manually, like by using a handheld tool, sickle, which is like this. Okay. For harvesting, we can also use a machine called harvester. After harvesting, we perform threshing. Now what is threshing? See, now we have cut crops. Now it's time to remove or separate out grains present in their stems. So in threshing, grains are separated from the stems or stalks of crops. So this process involves separating grains from stems or stalks of the crops or plants, known as threshing. Threshing can be done by two methods. First method is manual method, in which cut crops or plants are beaten or are struck against a hard surface or floor, so that stems or stalks of the crop plants get ruptured and grains come out of these. So in this way, grains are separated from the stalks or stems of the crop plants, known as threshing. Okay. In another method, we use a machine called thresher, which separates out grains from the stems of crop plants. After threshing, last step we perform in this category, that is winnowing. Winnowing separates out or removes out all the chaff from the grains. Now what is chaff? See, chaff are the pieces of straw or husk of grains. Means it is a kind of agricultural or crop waste, which includes pieces of straw and husk of grains, covering of grains and pieces of straw. Okay. So this kind of agricultural or crop waste is known as chaff, which is mixed with the grains. So it is necessary to separate or remove out all these agricultural waste, means pieces of straw or husk of grains, known as chaff, from the grains. Okay, known as winnowing. Now how is it done? See, in winnowing we use a device called winnower. Okay. Now first of all we take a mixture of grains and chaff in winnower, then that mixture is made to fall from a height. Then chaff, being lighter in weight, is carried away with the wind and fall at a distance from the grain, and grains, being heavier, fall down vertically. In this way, chaff is separated from the grains. This is called winnowing, and this is the way how winnowing is performed. Okay. Now we have an ultra modern machine or technique called combine, which performs all the three functions or steps, that are harvesting, threshing, winnowing, in a series, in a sequence. Okay, so this machine makes our task very easy and comfortable, because this machine called combine performs all the 3 steps: harvesting, threshing, winnowing in series and in sequence. After performing all the 3 steps in a series or in sequence, harvesting, threshing, winnowing, we get our grains ultimately. Now, last step or last agricultural practice, which is very important, because so far we have done a lot of work or labor and performed many steps in sequence and at correct time, so that we can get a good outcome or output in the form of good production or large production of healthy grains. And we have healthy grains in large production, but we cannot neglect the fact that now we have to be more careful, conscious regarding the storage of grains. So these grains must be stored in a safe place that must be free from moisture, pest, pathogens. Because if there is moisture in the place or godown where you are keeping or storing grains, then that moisture favors the growth of pathogens like fungi, bacteria, virus. And then that pathogens cause many diseases in the grains, ruin or degrade the quality of the grains. Then all the steps or labor we have performed earlier, that will go in waste. So that place must be free from moisture to inhibit the growth of microbes or pathogens. Okay. Secondly, that place must be free from pest. Otherwise, pest can attack the grains, can eat the grains, make them hollow or make tiny or small holes in it. So they can also degrade or ruin the quality of grains. As well as that place must be free from pathogens. That I already told you, that how can pathogens harm the grains. Okay, so we have to keep or store our grains in a very safe place that must be free from moisture, pest and pathogens. Moreover, grains which you are keeping or storing in a safe place or godown, that grains also must be free from moisture. So before storing them in a safe place, that grains must be dried in sunlight, so that their moisture can be evaporated. Now they are free from moisture and they are ready to be stored in a safe place. These grains are not kept or stored in that place or godown openly. Before keeping or storing that grains in godowns or safe places, that are kept or stored in gunny bags or metallic bins, and these gunny bags or metallic bins also must be free from moisture, pest and pathogens. Okay, so firstly, grains are dried in the presence of sunlight. Then they are kept or stored in gunny bags or metallic bins, and then these gunny bags or metallic bins are kept or stored in very safe place, godown, which is free from pest, pathogens and moisture. So in this way, storage of grains is done. In addition to this, nowadays a large quantity of grains at large scale are kept in big large structures known as silos or granaries. Silos or granaries are large built structures which are specially built for storing grains in large quantity at large scale. There are some important facts regarding our country India. First one is, India is an agriculture based country. Means agriculture supports its economy to the highest extent. Agriculture is one of the main pillars of India's economy. Second point, India is the second largest producer of wheat, rice and tea. So, it is a proud moment for all of us. This is all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.